This is the new Renault Twingo. It's an affordable city car that's designed to be small on the outside but large on the inside, highly manoeuvrable in town and stylish enough to stand out from the crowd.
Now, I really like the look of this little car, and you can get it in various different colour and fashion packs. So here's one that's actually called Fashion, can you see that there, the blue one, as is called the Retro Racer, the yellow with these decals. Now if you just have a look though at these stickers, they are just stickers. Can you see that around the edges there? I think after a few years they're going to get a little bit manky and it could make the car look a bit cheap. But look at some of the other colours that you can have. Look, these different, I like the white one actually, the Urban. But there is some marketing rubbish with these. This one, the red one, called the Party. So this is what the marketing bump says. The flame red body colour alone will turn heads, but the confident white exterior touch pack leaves people in no doubt where the party is. What utter rubbish.
What's not rubbish though is what Renault has done with the Twingo's well laid out interior. Once again, you can mix and match the colour schemes and also get it with the firm's latest R-Link touchscreen system. This includes satellite navigation and various applications that you can download from the internet. The main talking point about the new Twingo though is that its engine is located at the back underneath the boot floor. As a result, the low capacity of 188 litres is smaller than its rivals. Still, the boot is a very usable shape and you can lock the seats in an upright position to increase the volume to a more competitive 219 litres. However, doing this does cause a slight problem.
You know those jump seats on planes that the stewards and the cabin crew have to sit in, and you feel very sorry for them? It's like that. My back is so upright, it's very uncomfortable. So kids, nah, they're not going to like that. But let's knock it down all the way. When I fold the seat down, as you can see, you've got a really good flat low bay. Normally, this class of car, you'll have like because the boot's lower, you'll have like a ridge there, which is a bit more annoying. So this is very good.
What's even better is that you can fold the front passenger seat down too, making the little Twingo surprisingly good for carrying flat pack furniture.
Even though this car is actually 10 centimetres shorter than the old Twingo, inside it's actually 22 centimetres longer here in the cabin, and as a result you have class leading levels of knee room. It's very good. Also there's plenty of headroom back here for adults, as you can see. There are a few problems though. For instance, this front seat, the front seats, the way the headrests are integrated into the main seat, means that all you can see back here is the back of the front seat, so kids are going to have to lean round if they want to look ahead so they don't get car sick. Another problem is that these rear windows, they are quite big, which is nice, but they only open like that. They're pop out, so you can't wind them down like you can on a Hyundai i10, and yeah, that's a bit annoying though, to be fair. It's a similar story on something like this Citroen C1, Peugeot 108 and Toyota Aygo.
The new Renault Twingo starts from £9,495 for the entry-level 70 horsepower model. This car though is the range topper, which costs £11,695 and has a 900cc 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine. So what does the little engine feel like?
Well, there's a little bit of lag when you're just picking up from a standstill. So if I put my foot down, a little bit of lag, and there we go. It comes on boost, and then it feels fairly punchy. I don't think it's quite as nippy feeling as a Ford EcoBoost engine, the 1 litre EcoBoost. Now, generally it's quite quiet, but if I rev it, it starts to make a bit of a noise. I can't actually rev it all the way out here because the road's a little bit slow and the cyclists are about, and I don't want to freak them out. But believe me, it does get a little bit noisy though. When you're cruising, it's absolutely fine. 0 to 60 on it is 10.8 seconds, which is, that's all right, isn't it, for a city car? Top speed over 100 miles an hour, so yeah, it's all well and good. MPG, Renault claim it will do 66 miles per gallon, and if you have it with stop-start, which the range topper does have, then it has less than 100 grams per kilometre of carbon dioxide, so it'll cost you nothing in road tax. So driving this car about, generally I really like it. I think it's a fabulous little city car. It's just so manoeuvrable, And this range-topping turbo model, it actually has variable rate steering. So the more you turn the wheel, the increased amount the wheels turn. And so it's very easy to just manoeuvre around town. And compared to the standard car, I think you can go from lock to lock in 1/2 less turn of the wheel, if that makes sense. It might not do, I'm probably explaining it very, very badly. But yeah, it is very manoeuvrable, nippy around town, easy to park. The visibility is great because you sit up high. If I am ever so slightly disappointed with one thing, it's that this car isn't quite as much fun as I thought it was going to be. You know, you've got the engine at the back, it's rear wheel drive. It's like a Porsche 911 in that respect, but it just doesn't feel quite as much fun as I hoped it would.
Maybe I was expecting too much. After all, the Twingo is a cheap city car, and perhaps we'll have to wait for the Renault Sport version for that missing fun factor.
All right, so we're on day 2 of the Twingo launch, and we're going to try a different model now. We've got the naturally aspirated 1 litre 3-cylinder 70 horsepower model. So if you just jump in the other side, we'll have a talk about this car. So come on. Okay, so we've also got a slightly different trim level. The last car was the range-topping Dynamique. This one is the mid-range Play. And instead of that R-Link system, we've got the R and Go, where you mount your smartphone and you just use it to control the car's functions. We've also, if you look up here, I'll show them up here. Let me turn it on actually, might help. We've got the sunroof, and I think that's a £900, £8 or £900 option. But one, it's gonna be well worth having. It's almost like you're in a convertible, perfect. Anyway, jump in, we'll take this car for a spin and see what this new engine is like. And incidentally, it's the first time Renault has used this engine in any of its cars, so it's going to be interesting. So let's start it up.
The 1 litre car can return up to 67 miles per gallon. However, it takes a lethargic 14.5 seconds to go from 0 to 62, and it has a top speed of just 94 miles per hour. So the turbo model is a better bet if you'll be doing regular motorway journeys.
All right, so already we're in a traffic jam, but it's going to give me a bit of an opportunity to show you this sat-nav system, which comes, well, free with the car. You can download it for your smartphone, and then it just runs through the car's stereo system, so you get all the voice commands coming through the car speakers. So I've been driving around Nantes for a while, following the route on this sat-nav that Renault has pre-programmed into the car. They actually say this lower power version is better for in town, and yeah, the engine, it's all right, it's reasonably responsive at lower speeds. It seems a bit quieter than the turbo as well, so when you rev it out, it doesn't make quite such a noise. Another thing that's interesting about this car is that it has normal steering. The other car, the turbo, has that variable rate steering, and it just seems a bit odd. I prefer this normal steering. And in town, this car is perfectly fine. And you know how yesterday I said it lacked that kind of element of fun? You don't obviously expect a city car to be like a sports car, but the very best of them, like the VW Up, they just have that kind of driver engagement that this still, unfortunately, just has ever so slightly lacking. I'm not sure whether it's the higher driving position, whether it's the steering just isn't quite as, you know, it just doesn't feel quite as precise. It's still a great little car for round town. It just lacks that final element of polish that the very, very, very best city cars have.
Still, the Twingo does have one thing that really sets it apart. Its incredible manoeuvrability, which I experienced in another car on an obstacle course Renault had set up.
You can really see the benefit of being able to turn the wheels through 45 degrees, which of course you can do because you've got the engine mounted at the back. And look at this, in and out of these obstacles, like you wouldn't be able to do in any other car, perhaps except for a London taxi. And I think the Toyota IQ has a very good turning circle as well, it's similar. Yeah, this makes this car perfect for just driving around tight city streets. It should also make it very good for parking. So I'm going to try and parallel park it in this little spot, see if I can do it efficiently. So here we go. Get it into reverse. Does that when you got the sensors. So that's 1, 2 manoeuvres, and we're in. And getting out, obviously, is just as easy. There we go. And now we're going to go through this labyrinth. So imagine you're in a multi-storey car park. You don't have to worry about scratching your car or covering your wheels. You know, driving around town at slow speeds, it is very, very good. It's so nimble. Perfect, there we go. So we've come to the end of the launch of the new Renault Twingo, and overall I've been very, very impressed with this car, because after all, what do people want from a city car? They want it to be cheap. This is. They want it to look good. This looks good. They want it to be nice and manoeuvrable round town. This is extremely manoeuvrable round town. They also want it to be able to carry people in the back occasionally. This can do that. It's also got a decent enough boot with all the functionality of the chair. So yeah, I mean, for me, it lacks that slight bit of driver involvement, but for most people who are in the market for this kind of car, they are going to be more than happy with this new Renault Twingo. Click on the video windows to watch our reviews of the new Ford Focus and the Nissan X-Trail. Click on the play icon to watch our very latest video review and on our logo to subscribe to our channel.